My name is Kristen Hoffman. I am a wife and a mom, and I love thrifting, homemaking, and intentional living. In this video, I'm going to share why stocking your pantry matters. I'm going to go through a step-by-step guide to creating your pantry, talking about assessing your needs, organizing your pantry, stocking with purpose, and using your faith in action with all of this. I'm going to go over some homemade pantry staples, and then I'm going to talk about sustaining our pantry and fridge. Hello everybody, and welcome to our little country kitchen. Many of you guys know that this is actually my favorite room of the house. It's where we spend the majority of our time. And today we're going to be focusing on doing a complete reset, overhaul. We're gonna get this place looking spick and span and functioning as well as possible. We are hosting a whole slew of family members that are all going to be coming and staying here this weekend. Everybody's coming up into town so that we can celebrate some fun milestones. We're dedicating Lily, and we're just going to kick off the summer. Summertime can get super busy, and so I would just love for this place to be as streamlined and functional as possible. Today, I'm going to share why having a stocked and functional kitchen pantry is important, not only for practicality, but also for faith and the stewardship over the things that we've been given. So come along with me as I walk you through how to create a kitchen and a pantry that is purposeful, organized, and grounded in faith. Okay, so having your kitchen, your fridge, your pantry fully stocked and organized is so important for multiple reasons. First of all, convenience. Listen, people, look at our fridge right now. This is the most inconvenient thing ever. The entire thing is like a lean-to right now. I feel like if I pull one thing out, the entirety is going to crash at any second. And that is not good for me with 4 kids and constantly needing to reach in here and feed everybody. Also, let's talk about financial savings. When I don't know what is in my fridge and in my pantry, I will wind up rebuying the same things over and over. Like I keep finding, what is it? Applesauce. I keep forgetting how much applesauce I have. And so these are big old suckers. I have probably at least 3 of these throughout this kitchen, when in reality I only need 1, and I shouldn't be wasting my money on things that I already have. And also, I shared about this last week in my video about hospitality. I love being prepared so that when anybody stops over any time of day, I can know that I have a fully stocked fridge that is ready to share whatever we have. So this is an abomination. Let's get this thing cleaned up. Okay, so before we get started, I'm gonna make a little snack, my favorite snack. I love this stuff for its richness, its creaminess, its complexity of flavor. It has health benefits. Like literally, there is no reason to not eat this over any other kind of honey. Okay, I hear Lily. She's waking up from her nap. I'm gonna go grab her. Okay, this little girl has been teething and she's been so mad lately. Have you been so mad? All right, you guys know that I love eating Manicura honey with butter on sourdough toast. I think this is gonna be a great little energizer for my day. So this is like legitimately the richest, creamiest, most delicious honey that I've ever had. It's ethically produced by Manicura's master beekeepers in the remote forests of New Zealand. Their honey contains powerful nutrients to support immunity and gut health. The bees collect the nectar from the manuka tree in New Zealand. The nectar is packed with bioactives, and the honey that is produced has 3 times more antioxidants and prebiotics than your average honey. A special antibacterial compound called MGO also comes from the nectar of the tea tree. Manicura third-party tests every single harvest for MGO and makes these results available through their QR system. This stuff is a game changer, and all you need is 1 heaped teaspoon each morning to get the most out of the amazing bioactives. Also, additional usage is totally fine, especially if you're looking to cut out other sweeteners. Now it is easier than ever to try Manicura honey. Head to manicura.com/Kristen to get $25 off of your starter kit, which comes with an 850 plus MGO Manicura honey jar, 5 honey travel sticks, a wooden spoon, and a guidebook. That's manicura.com/Kristen for $25 off of your starter kit. All right, let's head over to the fridge. You guys can probably guess that
Some of the inspiration for this video comes from the Proverbs 31 woman. In Proverbs 31, 14 and 15, it says, "She is like the merchant ships bringing food from afar." You guys, I feel so sorry. Teething is not easy. It's not easy. Yeah. She gets up while it's still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her servants. The Proverbs 31 woman is described as preparing food for her household, and in our family, I want to say that it's my job, but honestly, Josh and I both take a big part in this in our household. I find that by adequately preparing, we save a lot of money. Y'all, when I was going through this fridge, I found so many duplicates. It was sad, honestly. I do not like overbuying food. We don't have the space in our house in order to take care of all of it. Actually, one of the biggest things that Josh and I get into is that he generously will go to the grocery store and buy, food for our family, and he gets a little bit overzealous, just trying to make sure that we are fully stocked. But in reality, we only have so much space, and so then a lot of times he'll bring these things home, and then he'll realize like, oh, I have all this food and we have nowhere to put it. So we have to be really intentional just about the space that we have and using that space wisely. We want to make sure that the items that we use the most are convenient and that they're easy access, that I don't feel like I'm having to climb over things in these pantries in order to reach back and get the things that we need all the time. And I also would like to have the peace of mind of knowing that our family is provided for if there was any unexpected times of need. So I guess in that way, maybe Josh is doing us a favor. Okay, so my first step when it comes to cleaning out our fridge and our pantry is assessing our needs. And I typically do this by taking everything out. In order to know what I have to be able to see everything, and that typically means bringing everything onto our kitchen table. It makes an absolute mess, but it gives me an idea of just how much we have, and if there's any excess, if there's anything that needs to be thrown away or, is past the expiration date. It shows me all the duplicates and gives me a better idea of what I'm working with. We want to take an inventory of what is in our pantry and start there. After this, I like to give everything a really good cleaning. Okay, so I officially have the top 3 shelves all cleared out, and you can see that they are disgusting. I have to admit, I hate this part. I know that some people are just like, clean freaks and they just absolutely love this type of stuff, but taking apart our fridge piece by piece and hauling it into our little sink so that I can try to rinse off these giant pieces is such a pain in the neck to me, but it has to be done. And if I don't do it correctly, it truly affects the end result of what is in our kitchen or what is in our pantry. So cleaning out our pantry isn't as easy, but it also doesn't get nearly as disgusting as our fridge, but it has to happen. Next to our fridge is our pantry area. Up here, this is just where I keep any Tupperware. You guys can see that for a family of 6, we actually don't have a ton of storage stuff, but basically my thought is that if we have more than what's in here and what's in our fridge, then that doesn't mean that we need more storage solutions. It means that we need to be eating the food in our fridge. So this is what I have right now. We have this big protein up here because we can't find room for it anywhere else. A couple of disposable things just because we like to be able to give away meals. And then under here is the rest of our canned goods. And you guys can see that this thing is so heavy right now that it's actually making this bow a little bit. Listen, I don't have a solution for that, but I would like to go through here and really get things nice and organized as well. We've got kind of some extras of things like doubles. Down here is Josh's protein, all of his dumb guy stuff. And then down at the bottom is our caraway pans. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all nice and organized as well. Next, we're gonna organize our pantry and fridge. This is probably my favorite part. We need to organize these parts of our home in a way that is both functional and accessible. Again, bringing the items that are most used to the front of the fridge. In our family, because we have so many small people, That's not Josh and me, that's our kids. Josh and I are relatively large people for, you know, the American standard. But I want to make sure that anything that our kids eat on a regular basis, whether that's like meat sticks or cheese sticks or, you know, little yogurts, anything like that is easily accessible. I'll show you guys here kind of like the end result of what our fridge looks like after it's fully organized. So I am so much happier with how it looks in here. Let me show you guys my little categories that I've got going on. Okay, so starting up in this corner, this is like sandwich stuff. So we make sandwiches for the girls each morning. We've got mayo, Miracle Whip, pickles, and jelly for like peanut butter and jellies. We've got some birthday cake for the birthday girl this week. A couple of dips. This is like a French onion dip that I made, and then some special that Josh made, some guacamole. And then over here, I'm calling this kind of like our like breakfast area. So we've got fruit for parfaits. We like to do parfaits in the morning. A little honey vanilla yogurt, some whipped cream cheese spread for like bagels and stuff. I keep my coffee creamer and AG1 in here. Lime margarita mocktail back here for Josh and I whenever we have friends over. Back here we've got like some salsa, heavy whipping cream, which I use like every single time I cook. Our abundance of applesauce. And then like I said, I like to keep some of these things close. So I like to keep the cheese sticks right here at the edge so the girls can grab them. We do a lot of Mexican, so I have some limes and avocados up here, grapes that are easy access. Down here is eggs and leftovers. We got a lot of leftovers right now that we're kind of working through, some carne asada, and we got some Chinese food from the other day. So then we come into our drawers. In here I've got all of our like cheeses, our lunch meat, and our tortillas. Some goat cheese. This is so good from Aldi. On this side, I have veggies. So Brussels sprouts, a little bit more avocados, some lemons, peppers, all that good stuff. Down here is kind of like our flat stuff. So again, yogurts that are easy for the girls to grab if they need them. Snack sticks, like meat sticks that are easy for them to grab. Our girls love hummus, and then some meats. So we've got the kielbasa, some bacon and sausage back here. And then in our doors right here, I've got like all of the main condiments. So I've got like some Mexican condiments, like hamburgers condiments, and Asian food condiments. Usually I've got my milk right here, but we just ran out. So we've got some chocolate milk and juices. And then over here we've got like salad dressings, lots of butter. We are butter people. And then some random stuff. So more butter and cinnamon rolls and whatnot. And then our freezer, I really have not organized our freezer well since we've had it, and I feel so much better now. So I put like all of our meat stuff in here. So this is shrimp, but lots of like little steaks and chicken, sushi, fish sticks, all that good stuff over on this side. Any of our frozen vegetables and fruit and whatnot right here. Our 4 categories are meat, veggies, baked goods. So I've got like pizza, a little bit of waffles and stuff from Wild Grain, and then all of like our ice cream treats over here, which, you know, I don't think I realized we had so many until I organized this. You can do things like labeling. Like, listen, that's next level. I don't label my stuff. I do try to like take things out of their original packaging as much as possible. Just number 1, because it looks better. Number 2, it saves space. I think that it's also important to group similar items and make sure that you're utilizing your storage containers for easy access. A lot of times these shelves get pretty deep and it's hard to get to the things in the back. So if you have drawers or boxes or baskets or anything like that that you can pull out to be able to see your stuff, use those to your advantage. My 3rd step is stocking with a purpose. It's important to stock up on things like rice, beans, flour, honey, oats, and canned vegetables. These things that are shelf stable and also whole food. So these things are gonna be great in case, you know, there's some kind of emergency and you're unable to get to a grocery store, but they're also great for your health. Like, they're whole foods and they're gonna be way better for you than any of that processed stuff that you have sitting on your shelves. You can do yourself a favor for these types of foods by buying in bulk. If you have storage in an area that is not in your pantry, you can keep big bags of these for when you need them. And if you're into like preservation, whether that's like canning or fermenting, it's always great to buy seasonal produce for that kind of stuff. We love to stock up in faith-driven ways. This means that we love to consider foods that will nourish our family spiritually through shared meals or meaningful traditions. We pray for God's wisdom and provision as we store food for our family. Let me share here a few pantry staples that we have. These staples are a form of stewardship and they help us to stretch our resources. So this is looking so much better. We always have like pears and peaches for the girls. Actually, we should probably move this one over to the side. And then our main things that we eat is honestly black beans for like Mexican food and green beans for any like American food. We keep our soups back here and our like tomato things, all of our like tikka masala and some of our like marinara sauce, like sauces and stuff back here. This is where I keep all of those duplicates still and our extra apples because you know Ruby is obsessed with apples. All of the supplements, and then again our pans down here. And then this is looking much better. I've got some like baking stuff up here, baking soda and taco seasoning, sabor de tomato down here, and then like all of our spices next to the stove. You guys have seen this. We use a lot of onions in our cooking, so I keep these out all the time. And on our main shelf right over here, I have sugar, coffee, and flour, probably our 3 things that we use the very most. And then our second little pantry back here, we've got our cereal, some crackers, granola, and then we've got all the mac and cheese, noodles, rice, all that good stuff. And then down here is all of the snacks that I like to keep super accessible for our kids. Apple sauces, granola bars, fruit snacks, and then some marshmallows and chocolates and stuff for bonfires. And then down here, nothing exciting, just some vinegar and trash bags. Something that I am getting better at over the years, but I've not always been great at, is sustaining our pantry. This means not only getting our pantry to a place where it's fully stocked, but also rotating our stock or checking expiration dates. That's something that I really need to be better about. And I want to make sure that we are using everything that we store, that there aren't things that are sitting in there for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and not being used. And with everything that is provided to us, we really want to emphasize thankfulness and gratitude. We are so thankful that God has provided the things that we need and given us the ability to be able to share it with others. This well-stocked, purpose-driven pantry can bring life to others. We want to create a place of peace and abundance in our home, and I would love to invite you guys to do the same in your own kitchen. So I'm curious, what types of things do you guys keep in your pantry? Is there anything that is like an absolute staple in yours that I did not have in mine? How have you incorporated faith into your own food storage? I know that sounds crazy, but like, you know what they said about Jesus? He was either on his way to a meal, at a meal, or coming from a meal. So the kitchen is so important when it comes to ministry in our homes. I would love if y'all would consider subscribing. You can follow along with all of the faith-filled and homemaking content that I make around here. And thrifting, lots of thrifting. Thank you guys so much for being here on today's video, and until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.